Okay, great. So, hello everyone. People who have joined recently, welcome to the Global Bizapps Day that is powered by D365 Champs. I am Preeti Pipalia and moderating this session. So, this session is presented by Vesa Nopanen and we'll be talking about Teams as a platform. So, Vesa is a passionate MVP carrying more than 20 years of experience in different business areas. He is a principal consultant at Sulava OI, Finland. He is a great coach and is helping drive businesses to achieve more with Teams and Power Platform. So before I hand over the session to Vesa, I would like to mention that if you have any questions, please feel free to drop it into the chat window and we'll take it as either during the session or if possible during the Q&A session. Thanks again for joining and Vesa, it's over to you. Please
Thank you,
take over.
Preeti. And nice seeing you. We had been exchanging some messages there earlier, so it's great to have a face to the name as well. Hey, it's morning in Finland, but I guess it's already a midday or afternoon for you out there. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening if you are from US or from similar region. And thank you for Tracy for the previous session. It was great seeing, and it was a very early wake up for her. And so it's been an early wake up in Finland as well. But I've had my coffee, so I'm kind of boosted up and ready to go. I have to say that I'm really happy to be part of the Global Bizapps Day today, because it's kind of new, new venture in a way. I've been talking a lot about Teams. I've been talking a lot about Office 365, and during this year, basically the Power Platform and everything around it has been exploding exponentially. So of course, and how Teams works with Power Platform, how Teams loves Power Platform is kind of something that pulls these things together. So it's a natural step forward there. But Teams as a platform, that's a very upper cloud hazy thing going on, and it's very hard sometimes to get grasp about what it is all about. And I try to shed some light to you today about that, first on the why level, okay, what's happening there, but also about on more practical demos as well. This is not a kind of dev session. I have so much to show you, but I'm going to try to steal some time there to go through some of the flows, especially to kind of give you an idea how you can do some of those things. So I guess it's about, let's get started part here. As Preeti presented me, I'm Vesa Nopanen, please call me Vesku. I'm coming from Finland. I'm a principal consultant and Microsoft MVP working for Sulava. I have some 20-25 years of ICT experience. It really depends how you want to calculate that. 25 looks better here on the slide, of course. And feel free to connect me. Tracy pointed out that, okay, use the social media, use the Twitter to find out for information. So in case you want to follow me, feel free to connect me on LinkedIn, feel free to follow me on Twitter, and of course, feel free to follow myteamsday.com. That's my personal blog about Microsoft Teams. There's lots of Power Platform in it already because I'm really keen about Power Virtual Agents, and it's going to show you today as well. And just a few words about my employer, because I'm very proud to work at Sulava. I've been here with this crowd for a year now, but it was born in the cloud 10 years ago. And the great thing is that we have 5 Microsoft MVPs, so I have great colleagues, not just on them, but the whole company community is thing. So that's when you're working in a company and where you enjoy, you have passion for the work and you have passion kind of to share information. Sharing is indeed caring. That was a greatly put, and that's a kind of old saying, but it doesn't get old. You do that with your employees, you do that with the community. And if everything is fine, then your company is also your community. So that's why it's also important. But I'm not going to dwell on this too much because I want to talk about Teams. And yeah, that's a big passion of mine. And so I get started with some of the upper cloud things, like why the Teams as a platform is a big thing. And of course, then mostly I spend my time in demos and then try to wrap it up, hopefully in time. And of course, today is a Halloween, so we have this scary little guy looking at the world, but thinking that Teams as a platform is a kind of something very similar to that. But I guess my cute robot on the right with coffee is going to get all better. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, whatever you're drinking, and enjoy the ride. And if you have questions, feel free to push them to the chat, and I will try to take them during the call or at the end. It really depends on the number of questions. All right. But the Teams as a platform, that's what I like to think about. It's a front door. It's how, when you get in, you have different services. It's not just about applications. It is not about just features, but it's about services that are provided to you by this platform, by your company. So depending on the door, well, you have different roles, or actually you don't have different roles, but people have different roles in your company. If you are from management side, you have different set of services, you have different set of needs. You need access to different set of data and to kind of processes you want to use. So that's when the management part, they have reports, they have KPIs, they have Power BI in there. And when on the opposite side, when you are a first-line worker, you work at the store, you work at the warehouse, you work somewhere else, then of course you have more operational needs. You have things at hand, you have tasks you have to do, you have checklists. Okay, let's go through these. You need to be able to enter orders, you need to be able to check warehouse information. Okay, this report issues. Do something with your mobile phone, and that's one of the big things. It's about the tablet or mobile phone. It might be even a personal one when you have access to those specific services, but you don't have access to necessarily everything. And then on the white collar part, you have the employees at the office or from home Teams days more and more. They have meetings, they have processes they work on, they plan on designs, they kind of do the calculations, they do tasks there. They are engaged in projects, they are building software there at R&D and everything there. They have another need for services. So that's why I like this front door approach. You open the door, you come in, you have your services available to you. And Teams is becoming more and more that platform, that tool that is open first time. Earlier years, it was some kind of a intranet homepage and we built mega portals there. There's something similar in here, but it's not the same because the fundamental thinking, how you are building these services, how you are bringing them together has changed. So that's why it is really important. And why it is a big thing? Because when you do this, you don't have, when you do things in Teams, you don't have to start switching applications. You don't have to go and access backend services from through different software. You don't open up another application. Usually you don't have to even open the VPN. You just use Teams and applications. So you don't do that switching and logging in, logging out all the time. So you will get savings, time savings from there. And from company perspective, this is important for organizations. That's the key thing. It saves us money. It gives us more flexibility. It makes us more productive there. They can focus on specific things. And of course, in today's team, the Power Platform is a big thing. Low code authoring, ability to react to changes, and of course, create those applications fast. Try things, fail fast, try again with some different aspect, see what works for your team or for your business unit or for your organization. You can play around with that. And it's going to be a shorter development or a shorter period time from idea to the actual execution. So it won't take months. It can be days or weeks. So that's a really, really big thing. Those figures are from Forrester report. So of course, those reports are, I don't know, they are very specific because they are Microsoft kind of commissioned. So, but it gives an idea. Okay, there's something to it. And the thing I like about Teams is also that when you're bringing those applications, you are bringing those capabilities, they integrate to the Teams interface fluently. So your users, they're already using Teams. And they are extending Teams. You are not creating a new UI. You are not creating everything in a totally different way. But instead, you are bringing those capabilities to Teams. So for you end users, hey, we have just some new features. It was provided by Microsoft or it was provided by the company. And when you combine those with the notifications, so you're getting alerts of something that has to be done. Well, we can be overflown with Teams notifications. Please don't turn down the notifications to suit your level. So the important ones will get through. And through those notifications, you can start creating actions. You can react. You can take things forward. You can approve something. And of course, when it comes to these learning curves, when it comes to the organization saving time, the big thing is about, okay, how do I get support? How do I get, when I'm onboarding, for example, how do I get support from HR? What should I be doing? And that's when the Power Platform recent additions, the Power Virtual Agents, well, they were introduced a year ago, but with the Project Oakdale, of course, this is now even easier. So it's part of the Teams now. So these bots can help you. They can reduce the tickets that end up to the real persons. Instead, the bots can help you to take that load off by replying already to people the answers they need. They are confused about the practices. They are confused about some information that should be in a knowledge base in the Q&A, and they get answers already from there. So you don't have to roll that information out or create a ticket to the real person, but instead you can automate parts of there. So it can reduce the load, and it will make your HR, of course, and IT happier. And if you have new products, you have product databases, you have information there. You don't want to overload your product teams with questions. Just like Tracy said in the Twitter, you don't want to kind of put it to the single person because there might be lots of questions to the one person. Of course, you ask from the bot or from the community, and you might get an answer from there. If you don't get, it might be relayed to the team, and that for somebody from the team could answer that. And that's a big thing when you are designing these bots, is that don't just relay them to the single person. Use a team, because you can add always persons to team. Okay. And as said, the Power Platform, that's the key thing here. And because with the Project Oakdale, you have more capabilities ready for you in Teams. You already have a kind of a light CDS environment there. So on team level, you can start creating Power Apps that are usable by anyone in the team. They are basically within the team context. And that goes on with the Power Automates, and it goes on with the Power Virtual Agents. So you can start creating these tools without having to go and buy Power Virtual Agents licenses, which is a big thing, because that was more like on the B2B, B2C context. And this is internal, this is inside the company. So when you are thinking about using the bots inside the company, you don't want to go and buy a few $1,000 license for a month, for every month. Instead, using the Project Oakdale parts, you can do a lot. You can't do everything, but you can do a lot already with the licenses you already have. So you can maximize the M365 you already have. So using these, that's a kind of one thing why I love this. A couple of examples, short ones, is that people have lots of Excel files in several companies. They want to add things there. They want to update things. Okay, it may be a vacation list, it may be a sales list, it may be a project information, it may be a kind of estimate, okay, how we are going to do things. And we are always using the Excel file and putting the figures there. And some other people will have to go ahead and update that information. That in several cases, not in every case, but in several cases, that's a perfect place to create a Power App. So you have that all the information, you have the logic there. But you can put the information to CDS Lite inside the project Oakdale. You can put it to SharePoint list. You can put it to Excel file if you want. But you can create that Power App so you can share that with the others. And when you share and make it a kind of solution there, it can help out a lot. And if you want to use that CDS Lite, of course, you will create it into team. But that's kind of thing. You can go ahead and edit things. It's not going to be locked down, and you can reuse the information to create the reports. We have so much sales reports. We have so much quarterly reports, whatever reports, where people gather up information manually or semi-automatically. And instead of trying to figure out, okay, let's do a Power BI out of those data automatically, start updating that instead of updating the Excel files. You can put that to Teams, and it's going to make things a lot easier. All right, that was kind of my starting point there, and I want to get into hands-on part because it's much more fun in there. All right, so we have this demo environment of mine. I already got, and first I want to show the HR onboarding because I like the process. It engulfs a lot of different aspects of Teams as a platform. So seeing just logging in, well, I don't mind the number of teams I have in, but I have a notification there. That's an application that is used to send messages to people in the company. All right, so it's called Company Communicator, but okay, let's come to the welcome to the Global Bizapps Day, or to the platform company, the demo company, and let's go ahead and begin our onboarding process. And we can just say, okay, let's say hi to the bot and see what's happening in there. And we can already see from our test, okay, I can push in the pictures if I want and kind of help to get started with the platform company. Are you ready to get started? Okay, let me just zoom in a bit. Yeah, let's get started and see what's happening. All right, welcome to the platform company. I could include some links to different videos there. Let's not watch that. It already knows who I am. And first, you need to update your personal information. And it's just saying, okay, have you updated it? And I just wait when you update. And I have some of the other applications here. It's just not a bot, but it's a kind of a ability to add more applications to the same app. So you have different aspects there. You don't have to have a single standalone chat, and then you have different Power Apps to do things. But instead, you can combine these to a single entity, single context. So I'm doing even less jumping around inside Teams in this case. So I could go ahead, add a new picture, save information, choose some of my info. This is stored in this demo in CDS Lite, but it would, of course, be relayed to the actual HR system. Or if you have some training steps you want to include, perfect place to start including doing things. This is just another Power App that has been distributed to Teams. So you could create a training, some training application that takes care of the first steps in the company on their own time. They are not necessarily even at the office, so there isn't a person going through these things with them, but instead, or after that in-person introduction, you might want them to have these kind of trainings. So they can do it in their own pace and start learning. Or you might have a different view to the HR system. Yeah, it's another Power App. And this was just a Power App created by the template in the Power Apps. So this is just a ready-made template. I'm just using this to demo the idea that, okay, bring here the information. You can bring here the other kind of a more rich user interface for this. Because if you are a guru at Power Apps, that's not my level yet, sorry. So that's why I want to use these ready-made examples to show around what you can do with it. And that's the key thing. All right, assuming we have updated our personal information, let's go forward. And Now the thing is that about this Power Virtual Agent, it can be interactive, it can be more helpful, it can be asking me questions. Okay, I have some text ready, so I don't have to type everything in here. So let's have a short introduction about my background. And then, okay, what do I like? Well, I like sci-fi. And as you can see, you don't have to write the exact text here. You can have aliases, or Power Virtual Agents is actually very smart. So when I start replying these things, it can go ahead and figure out what did I mean. So if you're doing this on the phone, it's going to be a lot easier that way. All right, so I had some information like, okay, saying that some on the Klingonese, and then of course we would be asking more questions. This is a demo. I don't want to spend 30 minutes on introducing myself, but it can help you to create an introduction text, push in my picture from there, and okay, this is what is going to be going for the HR. And just for kicks, I added something to look through the Bing search about the Star Trek because I chose that one. And if I could want to go, I could go ahead and check the article. It's always risky to have something like this on live demos, but it's always fun as well. And so it's saying, okay, I'm sending it to HR and I'm adding you tasks. Okay, now go grab some coffee and meet your colleagues. Okay, what does it mean adding me tasks? So if I go to the planner or tasks by a planner, I can see I have new tasks. Go through the company onboarding training, yes, greet your colleagues, read the company practices, for example. And I could have that information there. So it can kind of take this process and make it more kind of interactive. It's just not about the bot. It's about how you get started. It could send you emails. It could create you meetings. It can do all that kind of stuff that you need on the onboarding process. Sending information to the backend system. That may be some external. It may be a CRM or Dynamics-based. It may be a totally external or legacy HR system. If you have an API, you can use that Power Automate and Flow to do that. And I said it sent the information to the HR, and I can see I already have a message for Platform HR, and it's showing around my introduction. Is this good? Yeah, it's good. Using this in a team, I can submit it forward. Okay, let's go ahead and publish it. And waiting, it's always fun to wait a bit and hope that Flow indeed works and I don't have an error there. I didn't test this part this morning, so something is not working this time. But of course, it may be a good idea to check, okay, what's now? Okay, now it went. Almost had to deep dive into Flow. And then I can see it's in the HR channel and it just throws it in. So that can happen very semi-automatically. You only need human to make really some of the checks that are important before something is published or something is not there wrong. And of course, if that would be a no, then you would have a different process on changing things. And that's a kind of way, especially if you are not that, well, let's say, I'm not sure want to say it's a formal company, but like you want to automate the onboarding process and it doesn't have to be too complicated. You could use Power Platform inside Teams. So this just uses the Power Virtual Agents, Power Apps, and Power Automate to combine all these things and make it very smooth inside Teams. And yes, it's using CDS Lite. It is using SharePoint list for the picture. So you are using all these parts that are available and included in the licensing to do something like that. And that's the beauty of it. That's the kind of things I'm passionate about this as well. And there's some, okay, kudos, okay, thank you. That's a very great, but I really like this process. What else you could do utilizing the platform? I like it that Tracy's mentioned the SharePoint capabilities. What about if you want to have an environment? Okay, I have some other way to represent my company, and you create a SharePoint spaces right inside Teams. Okay, let's yeah, this is about Sulava, but opening it up, going there, I didn't make multiple spaces here because you can link them, you can add 3D objects here, so you can look them around. I had that kind of demos earlier this year, but I really like the way, because this is very visual way, and you can have your own background there. And I don't need AR glasses, I don't need a headset. This is 2D for me. But if you have a headset that supports this virtual reality part, that's even more awesome. But so that's one way to use SharePoint very easily to bring it to the same context. We are at this company. This is our product showcase or something else. And it's just not there yet. I have other nice bot to use. It's called Sulava Agent, but let's not care about that. And initializing that, okay, what do you want to help? Okay, I could tell me about Microsoft licenses, or perhaps I would have to know about Microsoft licenses. So this is another Power Virtual Agent bot, but this is more on the Q&A and specific processes later. So it can go ahead and search for a knowledge base because, okay, I don't know anything about this. I will go and check my Q&A maker database and see what kind of answers I have. This is just a dump basic database I dropped in there, so I don't have very company-specific answers, but hopefully it gives you an idea. It's more smarter on this. Yes, it works best on English, so if but there are more and more languages being supported. And about the other processes, I need to speak to HR. So instead of going through on the HR part, you might boost this bot with some information. Okay, that will get the information from backend or do some actions based. Okay, how much I have vacation? That's a very often usual question. And all right, I need to see a doctor, and so I get the information on my vacation days, but also we could include some information about these other processes. Okay, it didn't match on my need, okay, on the doctor, but it found out, okay, it might be relevant to this part. And I can start the process there. In this case, it's just about bringing in some picture, but that's also interesting way to bring in the information because people are not looking the intro anyway for these guidelines. So if they can use this on the phone and check out for the answers, it's already more helpful there. Or perhaps I want to, what events do we have? It's always fun to deviate from the previous script. No, it didn't. Let's start over. And I need speak to HR and checking on the events. What internal events we have. And then you can think about, okay, this is happening inside the phone. So that's something very powerful. And since I might have time, just want to go and show a couple of things. It's a very cool way how you can bring in those pictures directly to the answers. So I have a few bots here, and I am going to the topics. This is how you define this. You have some topics, and as you can see, I don't have too much of these at the moment, and I just go directly to the authoring canvas where I define how this conversation is going on. And you can see here the Star Trek part is on actually the only one I have implemented for this one. But so how do I get the video? The video with link. You can embed the markdown directly inside the Power Virtual Agent dialog. It doesn't work that way. But if I want to go and get some details, I can go ahead and create that markdown inside the flow. Okay, this is just a static video link, so I'm going to show a picture one later, but I can give you the basic idea. So what is in here is just a Power Automate that's running inside that context, and this is the magic. You can put the text and dialogue into the output version that is returned to Power Automate, and then you put in the markdown there. And when this is returned to the Power Automate, it will render it correctly. If you put this markdown inside the dialog of the Power Virtual Agent, it doesn't work. So this is the way to create links. You have the link title, and then on in the brackets and in the parentheses you have the link. And this is not very obvious if you look into the Power Virtual Agent documentation. It's not that okay. They are not telling you how to do links there. And that's the same thing with the pictures. I will show that later. But you already know, okay, you have the display name, you have the options. It's going forward. I'm going to go for the interesting parts here, which is more on the on this side. Okay, that was just pre-translated Klingonese, so don't worry about that. But you can create some fun there and go with the actions and show the information and for creating. You could stop here for okay, is this okay? Can we go forward with your text? And something, of course, when I was doing the demo, it's always good to start thinking about okay, how do I divide this to different topics, because then you can call the topic and you don't have this kind of mess. But this is a very good way to show in a session because you can. I just don't have to jump around too much. Okay, here's the image. So I have the kind of the image for this one. I have the user ID and the username text, and I can go ahead and check for the image. And what I get, I have the user ID. I'm getting that user profile, which is me, and I will go ahead and search for the files, just getting them from the SharePoint, getting the picture URL. And luckily, there's a direct picture link with the thumbnail in the document library. And I return that to the Power Virtual Agent. Here's the kind of the alt text. You can put anything you want if in case the picture is not shown. And when you have the exclamation mark there, just have the picture URL and it renders out. So that was more like a hopefully providing you some content there. I don't know if that was new to you, but hopefully some of that was new. So you can start creating these flows that do more things, and that's what I have here. Later, I have to basically search the net for the specific value, and this is using the ping search. Just using the that keyword there. And then creating the outputs, what's the article, and I had created a flow to create a link with these texts. So I get the markdown back, and I can just push in the text there. And yes, I can use that in the message as well. So I don't have to create everything there, but you can. I was testing this around yesterday, so this is really new addition there. And then you can add things to do. There's an ability to do that. So this is just a way how you can do things. I did this a very dumb way, and sorry about the titles if you are doing Power Platform in a more professional way. I know people hate me for not putting the right labels there, but you just can put in the information. As you can see, you can go through this default list, so you can check it around. You don't have to use the default one. And that's a real world practice. This is just a demo practice to use the preset one. But you could put due date, something like importances there, as we saw, and creating the tasks, and that's it. And the final part in there was the approvals. And what I really like, it's not really an approval, it was the adaptive card that is being sent there, approve introduction part. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this because this would be a separate session of its own and I'm running short, but I just showed the idea about, is it okay to publish? I can create an adaptive card and then get the response from there. And if it was okay to publish, I can just go ahead and put it out. Yeah, this is a bit fast-paced, but this is a very kind of a sleek way to use adaptive card with the information. You could have comments, you could have information there, update message after the pop. If somebody hit yes, You could even have information there. Do the real approval process if you want. All right. Something else, something totally different. Taking the sales hat in here, you might end up with a discussion in your teams about, okay, this would be a perfect solution for some customer. So this is based on the text message. I could call for more actions. This is on the this text context, and I want to create an opportunity. So I get the Oppo title here. Let's put the Bizapps Day, and value is something, sales representative is pretty, and the customer is of course a large company, something like that. And I submit it. And if I go to the sales, the message is already in the sales, but it already could be inside the CRM. It could be in Salesforce. It could be somewhere else. So that's a thing is that you can act on the message. That's a big thing. And when we are at sales, we of course want to include Power BI already in the same context. We are not opening the Power BI. We are not even opening the Power BI app. We don't have to do it right here. We can go ahead and check out these scorecards. But here we go to the Power BI inside Teams. The app is fantastic now. We can have a better view for everything we have in here. But the beauty, chat in Teams. I want to share this report, this information to sales and talk about this. Okay, we need to talk about this. And we do the share there and go into sales to most posts, and soon it always takes, hopefully, demos are always fun. It may take a moment now. There, it's in there. We need to talk about this. And if I click on this link, this is deep linked. So it goes directly to that report inside the Power BI application. So you are not leaving Teams. You are doing this inside the Teams all the time. So that's a very, very big thing. And I mentioned the first line workers. As you see, I'm pacing up. This is so fasten your seatbelt. You can see there are different applications we can put directly to this team. Okay, of course, we want to use praise. We want to make people happy. But when you are first line worker, okay, what we should be doing today, we could create a checklist. To do today, we just put demo 1 and demo 2 and demo 3. All right, we next and we publish it. And this is an up template application. So which means that you can take the source and you can edit it and you can combine that to your backend system. This is a standalone as it is, but I find these checklists, they are, if they are not connected to anywhere, they are kind of a bad experience in a way. But once you start connecting them to your backend systems, that's the Teams as a platform. You do things. But even that, as an application, hey, we publish this application to our first line workers. They need to do these things. Okay, it's the Kaisala thing. It's the same as in Kaisala, the checklist. These are these kind of surveys, polls, and the what was the last one? The survey, checklist, and polls. They were basically in Kaisala migration path to Teams, and they have ended up in up templates, so you can install them already. All right, so we create that, and we hope that my mobile demo will work. Isn't always fun to do these changes in the okay, scan to connect. Yes, let's get my old phone. This is from the end of 2016, so it's not the fastest one. And make it full screen so you can see, okay, I already have Teams in there. And now that was the same first line platform first line demo, and we have the checklist. So everyone in there, even mobile, okay, we need to do these things. Okay, let's mark 1 and 3 done. So we can see, okay, we can interact there. The application is supported in mobile. So that's one of the big things. What else is big thing is that we can go and report an issue. This is another Power Apps template or application that came in with the project Oakdale that can be installed into Teams. So this is Microsoft provided application. And this is an older phone and it's a big application, so it takes a few moments to load, but that's Power App. And I want to report an issue. And so it's very easy to create this kind of, okay, let's have break room cleanliness, not a fancy topic, but then we assign it to somebody if we already know who should be taking care of that. That's my colleague there, at least in the there, and I could add photos if I wanted to. You can't see the clicks where I do, but I hit add photos, and I could use Power BI, Power Apps capabilities to do that. But let's just put a short description there. Description, right? And submit the issue. And we can later see it's out there. But this is a very easy way to start using Teams here. Other way, so that's an application inside a team. So that's your store, that's your warehouse, that's your school, something else. But then if you have some other needs like that are not tied to a specific team, you can have these applications like building access is another application template example done with the Power Platform. Is that okay? Let's make sure that we don't have too much people in that building in a specific day. So I can go ahead and request access to the building and create that format. Okay, let's go, and this time I choose Helsinki office. Reason, yeah, I usually just type work here, and let's see if there's something available. And it's a full day today. Yes, it's making it easier, and I can check the office availability. Yes, there's a space there, and I can save and next and submit. And this is a Power App that has been deployed as a Teams application and installed automatically to everyone. So it's available there, and of course it's fun to click on the screen when you have a mobile phone. Okay, that's a very easy way. I could go here and check out the chat. I have the agent, for example, I was showing you around earlier. So these are all mobile support. And okay, let's see that if I just close the mobile phone part and go and see what's out here. And from the bar, which is building as access request and not the bar this time, I can go ahead and I see approvals. I have to approve, okay, I'm wanting to get in, so I can approve the thing. And I can go to the security part to see, all right, how much people are going to be in that specific office. So you can use these, and everything is inside Teams again. And from the first line part, of course, it was there's the manage issues part for the team leads, for example, or somebody from admin side, and they can see, okay, there's a new issue here. Should we just mark it done or not? Or do we want to do something more? And because these are installed to your teams, you can start editing them. So going there and showing you that it's really there. This is the Power Apps, and I'm going to show you, okay, what kind of applications I have installed. For example, in here, you can see that one. And I know I'm going to run out of time soon, but showing, okay, here are things you can do here. And getting just a really quick way to show, okay, I have a Trello external application here, and putting the Bizapps tasks from the external system where you're working with the other people, and just flowing it inside to your HR team who are using also the Trello for that, but they also want to use this inside their planner. So
a quick
this is
time
how you
check, Vesku. We have got 15 minutes, and there is a query. Would you like to take it at the end?
Yeah, I take it at the end, and I will just jump back to the slides so I can show them. all right, going really fast, go for the ludicrous speed or something like that. So extending Teams via platform capabilities, you saw the applications. You can use the Power Apps and Power BI apps to bring them to the channels. You can bring them to the left rail. That's where you have so-called personal apps. They are not related to a single team. They could be in the near future, they will be inside meetings, and they work on the mobile part as well. Acting on selected message. This is a really important part, I see, how you integrate teams to different capabilities. You do something based on the message. You take the message and you can include that information and create an opportunity out of that, create a report to HR, you ask a question, add it to the knowledge base, you do something, send it somewhere. And that's the Power Automate part. And receiving messages, receiving information directly to Teams files, something creating notifications so you can act on them. That's where you start using the Flowbots, adaptive cards, Power Automate to automate things on that part. Extending messages, it may be that's outside of the Power Platform scope, but you can, you saw the checklist, you saw the survey, their police, braces. So it can be third-party applications you can buy from Team Store, or you can create your line of business applications. And that's a real key thing for the organizations who want to extend their capabilities. And they are deployed to Azure usually and used from there. You are automating things, approvals, everything can go to Teams. Instead of sending the emails, having the different approval portal, try to bring that inside Teams. So you can do things there. You can do the workflows there, and they are usable on any device. Integrations between services. So it's just about Teams. It's about the Microsoft 365 SharePoint, Power Platform parts. But Trello, Salesforce, Poly, whatever applications are out there, you can use Power Apps and Power Automate to do part of the integrations, but usually you have already applications ready, like Dynamic CRM integration, or you have third-party applications like Salesforce, for example. So this is the big picture. That's why I want to broke this to specific slides there, is that, okay, there's a lot in this picture, but it tells a lot about how you can extend Teams on this platform story and break it down to your needs and start getting things done there. And yeah, we are getting to wrap it up. Pretty is getting more relieved here. So it's the next step. It's just about collaboration. It's just about chat and meetings. They are important start, but for organizations, it's very important they start thinking about how they can elevate Teams to the next level and use the platform parts. So create it as a hub for business services for employees based on their roles, because you already saw that I did everything inside Teams. I didn't go to other applications to get the reports or doing issues or anything like that. Everything was integrated, and there were some backends, so-called, virtual backends on demo side, but anything where you can send to SQL databases and anywhere, because that's the key and beauty of Power Automate, Azure Logic Apps, and Azure in there. So, and you saw how much Teams really loves Power Platform as well. So thank you. There's my contact information, but there's also a mention about Teams Nation. I'm one of the organizations in Teams Nation that was earlier known as Teams Fest, the Teams related event. We had a whole track for Power Platform in there. We ran that early October, and our next Teams Nation is on the 26th of May. So, and we have monthly meetings as well. So we have 1 or 2 sessions shown up there. So go ahead and join the group. So follow us in Twitter. Follow the hashtag, and the smiley robot says thank you. And now there were some questions.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a question from Nishita. She says, what applications did you use for the mixed reality product showcase on Teams?
That was SharePoint. So if I go to the showcase and I hit open in the browser, it's open SharePoint, and it's a SharePoint space. So if I go here onto the home, and I can start, this is really difficult. Yeah, you just hit on create a new space, you create a format, and let's put this as a, what was the question? It's that's the showcase, but let's introduction, and we can create it. And yeah, it was really difficult to create or alter the design, make it look different, use some different backdrop, and that's why I love the arc, because it doesn't block the view too much, or adding pictures there or other objects. And then you just hit publish and add it to a theme as a tab. Yeah, it's just really difficult. I should spend 1 hour on this session. But yeah, that was really fast-paced, I know. But it's a great tool that you can use to bring a different kind of presentation. That's why I love it. And it works when it's fresh. People say, okay, this is something new, and they want to play around, and they learn something while doing that. Yeah. Yeah, I noticed it.
We don't have any more questions.
Okay. I kind of made it in time, despite rushing out. Is there somebody who wants to see how that acting on selected message flow is done? I can show it very quickly.
Yeah. And truly speaking, this was a very nice session. We didn't know that Teams is capable of so many things altogether.
Yeah, because there's perhaps a minute or two. You can see there's a flow application here. It's going to be a Power Automate application. It just got updated this morning, and when I tested the demos, I noticed none of the said messages was available. I had to upgrade this up. So it was a last 30-minute, what's happened? But the thing is that here's the new, this is the create from template. If you haven't used Power Automate, go to this, because you can see the templates. And when you go and see the templates, it's going to make things really easy. Like I have saving message to OneNote, follow up on a message. So it will ping me back later. Let's say I want to ping it back 10 minutes later. It has everything in there. You can configure it really easily. Or creating a task from a message, creating a planner task, changing it to something else. I have so much zoom here, and I can go ahead and choose, let's go and choose one of these platform companies. So we want to add the message to first line people. There's first line tasks, and we can go ahead and create it or edit in advanced mode. And it's if I hit save here, it's done. And it's this easy, like for selected message, you could start creating the information. It will ping back to the user, okay, it's been added as a task to that planner. So that's it, why it's really, really makes, and that's the beauty. When it upgrades to Power Automate really soon, hopefully this month, they had made those changes so that it's going to be even more easier to create new personal flows or team flows from templates. You don't have to even see the advanced dialogue. They will have more dialogues. It's a very, I saw the demos at Ignite, and it was really, really great seeing, okay, how they are bringing that to the end user. You can be a starting end user. You don't have to be a super expert. But when you start wanting more, you can take easy steps and do more. But that's the kind of the hookup line of the Power Automate. So yeah, I'm passionate, power addicts, and everything like that. That's a thing.
Yeah, and that's exactly the beauty of our platform.
Yes, it is. And inside, like when it's connected, everything's better together. It's just about single tool, single feature, single part of the story. This is all together, and that's how it's going to be, make the beating pulse and get a lot of hearts there, because that's how it works. And so if you think about, okay, Teams is something else, don't, because Teams is a kind of, it's from the end user perspective, that's their front door, and you want to bring those capabilities, extend Teams like so very fluently, smoothly, so they don't really have to know it's Power Automate or Azure app. They don't really have to know. You do the magic there, and that's how it gets started. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I'm getting some praises.
No questions. That means it's a great session.
or a very session, but upper cloud. But I try to give more sense that Teams as a platform is a very hazy thing, and that's why I want to try to bring this idea to the ground level now and then.
And it was amazing.
Thank you.
Okay. So we are ready to wind up. Okay, so thanks everyone for joining. Thank you, Vesa Nopanen, for an amazing session and sharing your knowledge with us. It was great having you with us.
It was great being here. Thank you for inviting me. I definitely want to make another appearance if you want me.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vesa.
Wait, we have 4 minutes. Do you want to share the leaderboard?